Are you ready to scale your business in a way that's aligned with your soul and profitable? I'm Kc Rossi, a business and leadership coach. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 30 years and love business. I help conscious leaders increase their impact and optimize their lives. Join me each week for tips and deep conversations on cultivating confidence, increasing your visibility, elevating your vibration, and leading with purpose without burning out. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be talking all about impact and really questioning if we're making a big enough impact in the world. I'm so curious how you listen to this podcast. If you listen while you're making dinner, on the treadmill, going for a walk in your neighborhood. So let me know. I would be really interested in that. Right now, it is first thing in the morning, so there's less road traffic noise. I've got my favorite Buddha mug that actually has a little quote, "What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you create." So this is my favorite mug. I have half-calf coffee in here with some Planet Oat caramel creamer. So I'm starting off my day right with you and with getting this message out that has really been on my heart and in my mind. So creating an impact and spreading a positive ripple effect, it's really a top priority for many leaders. And it's not enough to just be one of the crowd and hum along with the status quo. What excites us is making a significant difference, committing to leaving things better than we found them, and inspiring others to do the same. Over the weekend, I attended the live Ithaca College Zoom graduation ceremony for my niece. And it's funny, a little side note, how times have quickly changed and the rituals that we took for granted are now craved by today's generation. Simple things like having your family present to see you walk across the stage to celebrate your accomplishments. But nonetheless, we are blessed to have the power of technology. And so over this weekend, during this event, we were able to feel connected. So all good. But one of the things I thought was really interesting is they had several of the Ruth Bader Ginsburg quotes. Now, she is honored for her bravery and how she blazed a trail for other women leaders. One of her quotes especially jumps out at me, and it is, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." I'm going to say that again. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. I love this aspect of leadership because it's not about having followers. It's about collaboration and inspiring others to courageously stand up for what they believe in. And God, we really need that now more than ever, don't we? In order to be an effective leader, we must start with self-leadership. This is really my favorite place to start whenever we talk about leadership. But I'm going to dig into self-leadership on next week's episode. We all know in our gut when someone walks the walk and puts their advice into action, and when they don't. The do as I say, not as I do approach, it is not only outdated, but out of integrity. And I know if you're listening to this, that that's not acceptable for you either, or for those that you admire. So again, I really want to dig into the self-leadership topic, but I'll do that next week. Today, we're going to focus about impact. If we allow ourselves to function on cruise control, it's going to be nearly impossible to create a life that makes a difference. And when you think about it, like, you can feel when you're on cruise control. You can tell when people around you are just on cruise control. It's just this thing that you can pick up on. And if outside circumstances or influences give us that feeling like we're just getting by or we just need to make it through the day, it's going to be really challenging to stand out, to rise above the noise. And how will we be able to share our powerful message if we don't have that spark of enthusiasm within us, that really undying commitment and perseverance that we have so much inside of us to give? So I want you to pause and take a moment and ask yourself, am I making a big enough impact in the world? And don't let thinking of the world overwhelm you. I feel sometimes, and I can relate to this for myself as well, we shy away from leadership thinking that we're not cut out for it because we get overwhelmed with this like global idea, with the thing of like world leadership, world impact, world ripple, and things of that. And it's almost like we have to be an expert speaker on the big stage with millions of TED Talk views on YouTube. In our head, this is like this voice that's telling us this is what we need. This is the quantifier to truly make a difference. And this, my friend, is a limiting belief, and it's just not true, because affecting one person can be powerful. And being influential in your community can have a lasting impact. Even if you think about it, like if you think of one person in your childhood when you were growing up that cared for you, that listened in a certain way, that gave you advice or that gave you a hand up, it probably had the power to change your life, change your direction, change your career path. That's impact. So please don't let these ideas of the world trump your action, because again, affecting one person can be powerful. We've had that effect over our lifetime, and we can also be that person that affects someone else. Really powerful, powerful concept. The interesting thing is we all have this ability, this capacity to make lasting change, to create significant work, to positively impact people's lives, starting with your own, expanding to your family and inner circle, and then expanding further to your community, and then perhaps even larger. But do you see how it makes it so much more doable and bite-sized when we first start with ourselves? Again, that goes back to integrity. That goes back to self-leadership. When we first do the work on ourselves, we are client zero. Once we have a little bit more grounded tranquility, balance, enthusiasm, we're feeling really good with our fundamentals, then we can start expanding. People will start noticing anyway, and they're going to start asking, like, what are you doing? You know, what's your secret? How are you waking up with positive energy? And so your family's going to be the first to notice. Your partner's going to be the first to notice. And maybe they're going to start to, look at certain habits that you've got dialed in. And then your inner circle. And then, like I said, what can you do in your community? How can you weave in, give back? And then perhaps even larger, where you've heard me talk about making our work our worship. And that is just the beautiful, powerful ripple effect. Again, harnessing the internet, the World Wide Web, and realizing that we can reach everyone worldwide. The World Wide Web, it's a global reach. So it's easier now than it ever was before to continue to expand. But again, baby steps, start with yourself, expand to your family, your friends, your inner tribe, then your community, and then that outer ring. Here's the cool thing though. It doesn't have to be like when I'm quote unquote perfect, right? Because we know that that's elusive. We know that there's never really there. So it doesn't have to be when you are 100%, then you go ahead and start sharing. It's something that we can do in parallel. It's something we can do simultaneously. And that's just going to be the nature of it, because remember, your energy has the power to reach the other end of the globe. So think of prayer, think of positive intentions. I know we have a lot of beautiful energy healers that listen to the show. So I'm hoping that you're nodding your head when you think about this, because people can be affected and healed in a positive way through intention all around the world. You do not have to be sitting across the desk or serving them over a massage table for them to have that powerful, powerful impact. Think of the frequency of light and sound waves. Science has shown us that light can travel 300,000 kilometers per second, and that sound can travel in the air at approximately 332 meters per second. I mean, I can't even grasp that. I feel like it's really mind blowing. My mind just like takes that data in and it's like, wow, that's amazing. I can't even grasp that level or that like measurement of speed and distance. I just know that I've personally experienced that ability, both coming and going, to receive impact and positive intentions worldwide, like around the globe. And that's really the point. So embrace that everything is energy. Remember that people, places, and things vibrate at a certain frequency. So it is really an opportunity for us to choose to vibrate higher and to be around things that uplift ourselves. Be around things that uplift you. Our frequency and intention actually do have the power to create global change and transformational uprising. That's pretty amazing. Like, honestly, I feel that we could all journal just on that thought and get some really, really juicy gems from it. So I really want to encourage you to begin seeing how you can increase your impact today. When you have the time, grab a piece of paper or whip out the note section on your phone. Jot down how you can increase your impact. Just brainstorm. Don't censor yourself. Just let it all bubble up. Capture everything. Even if it seems silly, even if you're like, where did that come from? Allow it. Allow it to just bubble up and over and capture it all. If you're an auditory learner, you could even record yourself on your phone. Whatever works for you, you know the right way. You know what's going to feel good in your system and in your makeup. So honor that. And I want you to ask yourself, in what ways can you make your work more meaningful? And how can you significantly improve your leadership? Again, starting with self-leadership, which we're going to dig into next week. But this is a great way to get your juices flowing. It's a fun little exercise. Once you're done with that, go ahead and pick 1 or 2 things from your list and put them into action today. This is my challenge to you. And if you need support, you can head over to the Women Developing Brilliance Facebook group, where you know we always continue the conversations that are started here on the pod. And I want you to look at that list and think about the 1 or 2 things that you can tweeze out, and then challenge yourself to put them into action today. Today, not tomorrow. You're going to put it into action today, because today is the present moment, and that's what we know. That's what we have. So I encourage everyone to start small here, because we know that new habits stick when they are doable. And ABC, always be celebrating. Remember to celebrate yourself when you take every single micro action. Even if you think like that's not big enough to celebrate, that's especially when you should celebrate, because our brain repeats what's rewarded, and we have the ability to tap into our mind, allow the chemical cascade of dopamine, which is that feel-good hormone, get released with self-celebration. Isn't that amazing? We actually can control, like I almost think of it in my mind, it's a little bit morbid, but when someone's in pain and they have that little push button of the morphine drip, that's kind of the flip side and the unfortunate thing of being able to manipulate a chemical that has a reaction. On the positive flip side, that is a natural push button, is our own self celebrating ourselves and rewarding ourselves and allowing that cascade of dopamine and feel good feelings when we're like, that's like me. That's amazing. I did it. I did what I said I was going to do. That is going to be a chemical response in your body. You get to control that internal push button of feel good feelings. So take advantage of it. Absolutely take advantage of it. So when you close out your day and you know deep in your soul that you were meant for more, that you have more to give, just break it down. Remember to set your intentions, to start small, to start today, and to keep showing up. Just make it that simple. Keep it that simple. Keep it very micro-focused. And again, with that intention of starting with yourself, your family, your tribe, your community, and then rippling out to the world. We have the potential to be powerhouses, absolute powerhouses. And as Abraham Maslow said, what one can be, one must be. We must carry out what we were put on this earth to accomplish. So increase your impact and increase your fulfillment starting today. Until next week, my friend, breathe joy. Thank you so much for listening. I want to let you know that I honor you and the time that you've carved out to listen to the Women Developing Brilliant show. I know there are thousands of options when it comes to what you're going to tune into, and I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my message. I've also been sharing listener feedback. I have to tell you, it's a little bit weird to be saying these accolades about myself live, but I absolutely appreciate people's time and energy to share their thoughts about the show. So I'm going to keep on doing it and push through that little bit of uncomfortableness. So Lilith Eve from the US shares, uplifting, interesting, real-life women. This show is chock full of inspiring stories of real women making their own way in the business world. Being a part of this series hosted and created by the brilliant Kc Rossi has elevated my career. Watching the other interviews reminds me we aren't alone and we're stronger when we listen, share, and learn from one another. Kc isn't just a coach, she's a community builder. Lilith Eve, thank you so much. This absolutely touches my heart, and I so appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts about the show and what it's done for you, so thank you. And if you want to give some love to the podcast, you can head over to lovethepodcast.com/brilliance. That's lovethepodcast.com/brilliance. Thank you.